Let's come back on to serious topics again, though. And Vanessa, you are, of course, in Damascus. What has been going on there?
Yeah, well, on Saturday, we had a massive explosion in central Damascus at around 9:30 a.m. in the morning, targeting Mezzeh, which is, as I said, complete central Damascus, Western Villas, which is a high security area where you have UN offices, many embassies, including South Africa and Venezuela, where 5 IRGC officials, Iranian Republican Guard officials, were killed in an attack on Damascus. A 4-story building was completely destroyed. And if we can just run the next bit of video, we can see the immediate aftermath.
جنايتين تقريبا حد بعض واقعين.
So, real devastation in the central of Damascus, which of course is a violation of any kind of international law, in direct response, I guess, to the Iranian retaliation for previous Israeli and US assassinations in Iraq and Israel. And that was followed by a massive attack on Ain al-Assad airbase in Iraq. There were reported high numbers of American military personnel and contractors injured. Of course, the message put out by CENTCOM is that they were all suffering from traumatic brain injury, very similar to what we heard after the attack that followed the assassination of General Qasem Soleimani. That again was followed by 3 airstrikes, separate airstrikes by US forces in Iraq, including on the Al-Qaim border against the PMU, the Popular Mobilization Forces, that have been responsible for fighting ISIS in Iraq for many years now. That again was followed by a statement from the Iraqi resistance, which is going to join Yemen in imposing a naval blockade against Israel. Where are they intending this blockade to be? This is quite interesting because in their statement, they announced that during the early hours of the 24th of January, the start of phase 2 of the Islamic Resistance in Iraq's pro-Palestine operations, including enforcing a naval blockade on Israel in the Mediterranean Sea. So this is really going to start to escalate. At a time when the criminal US occupation is again blatantly targeting our security forces, we urge the Mujahideen of the Islamic Resistance to begin the second phase of operations, which includes a blockade on Zionist maritime navigation in the Mediterranean and putting the entity's ports out of service. So this means, I guess, an increase on the targeting of Israeli ports. The Iraqi government has previously demanded that the US Army respect the country's sovereignty. And the Prime Minister has stressed that the PMU is an integral part of the country's armed forces, which of course it is. An umbrella group of armed factions that includes members of the PMU has conducted about 150 attacks on US bases in Iraq and Syria over the past several months since the 7th of October. So I just wanted to very quickly mention that also in Syria, if we can show the map of Syria, we have also been experiencing increased and very intensive ISIS attacks, which are coming from the US base at Al Tanf on the hydrocarbon and oil resources to the east of Homs. And this has been ongoing also since the 7th of October. We had a concerted attack, I think, last night, which is now being repelled by the Syrian Arab Army. But I just wanted to point out this suggestion that they're now going to target, I guess, Zionist boats heading to Israel in the Mediterranean. Now, Iraq is landlocked, so I presume that they're going to be using Syrian airspace to either send drones or missiles. Just to give an idea, I mean, from Sinjar to Latakia on the Syrian coast there, the Mediterranean coast, it's 750 kilometers. So this also gives an idea of the range of ballistic missiles they have available and are now ready to use against Zionist shipping, very similar to the Yemeni operation.
Okay, Vanessa, thank you for that. Now,